In early 2022, LYNC assisted in evacuating over 4,000 Ukrainians and has mobilized resources and its network to care for refugees, women, children, and the elderly affected by war. This Christmas, LYNC and partners have developed a new mission to bring Christmas hope to Ukrainian war widows and their children. One of these team members, LYNC's partner Abigail Wadinsky, joins me now to discuss the mission. Abigail, welcome. As partner, you spend a lot of time on the ground ministering to the suffering in Ukraine and nearby. What would you like for our audience to know about the current situation of war widows or their children?
This week marks the 22nd month of Ukraine's active occupation and war. As someone who travels in and out of country now every 5 to 7 weeks, I see the eyes and I hear the hearts of the men, women, and children who are deeply suffering. One aspect of this particular war that I'd like to share with you today is that there's a war being fought mentally. It's the psychological warfare that's undermining the mental health and the overall liveliness of millions of people. I'd like to draw your attention to one fact of psychological warfare, and that's the severe underreporting of both casualties as well as injuries. At LYNC, we're committed to serving widows, orphans, the elderly, and our attention has been drawn to this subset of suffering individuals, specifically war widows. We don't know how many war widows there are in the country, but we do know that there are numbers being added to their ranks every day. And these war widows are actually also IDPs, internally displaced persons and refugees. Their situations are extremely complex, and at LYNC, we've made the determination to do something about it this Christmas.
Wow, what a meaningful mission you're on. There's so many in need. You mentioned before that you and the LYNC team will be on the ground for 5 days. What will you be doing in that time?
Just as God called millions of people to leave Ukraine, He's also called some of us, including Wade, Tatiana, and I, to go back in. And this Christmas, the three of us, together with our partner organization in country, have the absolute delight and privilege of bringing hope and Christmas celebration to over 100 war widows and children in Ukraine. And I can tell you, I'm just so pleased personally about this project. I hear two things most often when I travel and I'm meeting with people. And when I say meeting, this can be as casual as meeting, at the border crossing. It can also look like meetings in orphanages and IDP centers. But the first thing that I'm told when I'm one-on-one as the person wearing the trauma hat is, there's a war here. Aren't you scared? And the second thing that I hear right after that is, thank you for not forgetting us. And this year at LYNC, we're able to be that minister of presence. We'll be taking in gifts, we'll be taking in critical care, such as generators. It's winter in Ukraine, it's getting very cold. And we'll be able to host celebrations and just be present. To me, that's the biggest gift of this season.
Providing supplies, meals, and gifts, that must be a lot to put together. How much does a project like this cost?
Right now, we are fundraising a total of $10,000 to cover the cost of our team's travel and in-country preparations, as well as the gifts that I mentioned. We can't do it without you, and we appreciate you joining with us, whether financially or prayerfully. Just like David, we learn every trip that God is our shield, and we can't do this without you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Abigail, and thank you for joining us and shedding light on this important project. If this video has touched you, please consider giving to this mission. Perhaps you cannot go to Ukraine, but you can strengthen these war widows and their children by donating to this cause. Your contribution will directly assist us in purchasing travel, supplies, meals, and gifts. Furthermore, your gift will bless all who participate and, most importantly, expose these souls who have weathered much suffering to the redeeming power and love of Jesus. LYNC thanks you for remembering these precious people in prayer, in service, and through your financial support. God bless.